Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really know where I am, but I do think that I'm getting closer to the stadium.
The year is 2028. Something big is happening. Something that a lot of people said would never actually come to pass. In the city of Las Vegas, 30,000 fans, some local, some from hundreds of miles away, have come together to watch the Athletics play baseball. This day is still 2 years away. For now, the A's are playing in Sacramento, where they've been since last season, and where they'll remain for at least another 2. It hasn't been an easy time to be an A's fan, but it's not like that's ever been the case, really. In 2005, when the team's current ownership took over, they did so with a promise to build a new stadium in Oakland. Since moving from Kansas City in 1968, the A's had played at the Coliseum, a massive 56,000-seat ballpark in the southern section of the city. The Coliseum was iconic, but it was also showing its age. Attendance was slipping, so was the fan experience. On the field, the team was winning less and less, missing the playoffs for the first time since the 90s. In 2006, the A's proposed a new stadium in Fremont. By 2009, this effort had been abandoned. That same year, Commissioner Bud Selig appointed a blue ribbon panel to get the A's a new stadium, this time in San Jose.
I watched 32 years ago the Kansas City A's move to Oakland. They hurt the Giants badly. They never really did very well themselves. It was a horrible mistake.
The city of Oakland countered with a site near downtown. Neither would get built. In 2014, the team signed a 10-year lease to remain at the Coliseum. In 2016, co-owner Lou Wolf resigned, making John Fisher the team's majority owner. Fisher immediately hired Dave Cavell, president of the San Jose Earthquake Soccer Club, to find a site for the new stadium. After failing to secure land elsewhere in Oakland, the A's announced plans to build a waterfront stadium. By 2021, though, negotiations with the city had stalled. To make matters worse, the Oakland Coliseum had gone from bad to nearly uninhabitable. Raw sewage was leaking into the dugout. Wild animals were living in the press box. The stadium itself was falling apart.
I'm hopeful, I'm ecstatic, I love opening day, but how many opening days do we have?
It was at this point that MLB did the unthinkable. With a vote of 29-0, the league allowed the Oakland Athletics to explore the possibility of relocation.
They lost the Raiders, they're losing the Warriors, or they lost the Warriors. Now they're going to lose the A's? It's like, come on, Oakland, kick it in.
There were no shortage of contenders. Nashville, Portland, Charlotte, and Vancouver were all on the table. John Fisher, however, had just one spot in mind.
It is the news that Oakland A's fans do not want to hear. Major League Baseball owners have voted unanimously to approve the Oakland Athletics move to Las Vegas.
The unanimous vote by the team owners now paves the way for the A's to move to Las Vegas.
It's a loss. It's a loss that we're feeling. It just feels more final now.
One more team gone in the bucket.
I was hoping there would be a few owners left that still had a soul.
Within 2 years, the A's secured a deal with the state of Nevada. The government agreed to pay $380 million to help build a new stadium. With a planned cost of $1.5 billion, roughly a quarter of this project would rely on taxpayer money.
Several lawmakers who publicly ripped the proposal last week changed their votes today when the A's actually enhanced the community benefits package and items not related to the ballpark were added in.
In early 2024, the Athletics unveiled the official design for their ballpark. The plan is to build a domed stadium in an effort to protect fans and players alike from the desert heat. The roof, made up of 5 overlapping layers, is reminiscent of the Sydney Opera House. Bjarke Ingels, the lead designer, compared it to an armadillo. Inside the dome is an 18,000 square foot jumbotron, which upon completion would be the largest in MLB. At just 33,000 seats, meanwhile, this ballpark would have the smallest capacity in baseball. Next to the stadium, the Bally's Corporation is also planning to build a hotel and, of course, a casino. If this all comes to pass, it'll be the 3rd major sports venue in Las Vegas, joining Allegiant Stadium and the T-Mobile Arena. Now, a lot of people are asking, is this stadium actually happening? I wanted to know for myself. So I did what any sane person would do, and drove several hours to Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, just to take a look. Now, I had never been to Vegas before, Honestly, I didn't know what to expect.
All right, so we are here in sunny Las Vegas to answer the question that is on every baseball fan's mind right now. What the hell is going on with the Athletics?
There was a problem, though. See, I knew where I had to go. I just didn't know how to get there. So, like the hobbits in Lord of the Rings, I set out on foot. It was incredible. The architecture, the art, the culture. There was exotic food from faraway countries. England, Italy, California. This was truly an international city. I couldn't get distracted though. There was so much to see, but I was here for one thing, and one thing only. I needed to stay on track, stay mobile, keep my head on straight. Maybe one day I'd be back, and maybe then I can see what else this city has to offer. Today though, I had to be focused, eyes on the prize. No more distractions, no more delays, no more bathroom breaks. No. I had to keep moving. By now, though, I had somehow managed to leave the strip entirely. I was actually beginning to wonder how well this plan was thought through.
Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't really know where I am. Las Vegas is not a walkable city, but I do think that I'm getting closer to the stadium.
I was completely lost. Okay, so a little background. On October 9th, 2024, a year before my visit, the Tropicana Hotel and Casino was demolished. Overnight, the third oldest casino on the Strip was gone. Located at the intersection of Tropicana Avenue and Las Vegas Boulevard, the Tropicana had closed the previous April after 67 years of operation. The implosion was celebrated with music and fireworks, a fitting send-off for one of Las Vegas's biggest relics. In June of 2025, the Athletics broke ground on their new home. As a crowd of onlookers watched, including franchise legends Raleigh Fingers and Dave Stewart, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, and a collection of Las Vegas Little Leaguers, the A's declared themselves Vegas's team. "We're a local team," said John Fisher, "and we want to start from the youngest of fans, because if you can get the kids, you can get their parents." Okay then. Anyway, if they want this place to be ready by 2028 though, they'll have to get moving. Speaking of which, I was running out of daylight. If I couldn't find the stadium before dark, this whole trip would be for nothing. I was kicking myself. Why hadn't I planned better? Why didn't I bring a flashlight? But then, a sign of hope. The MGM Grand. I knew that this building was located across the street from the future stadium site. I had to be getting close. I cut through the casino floor, avoiding drunk college kids and even drunker senior citizens. When I reached the other side, I saw a guy in a Willie Adames jersey, another clue that I was nearly there. My legs were sore, my heart was pounding. I had to pee really bad. Nevertheless, I persisted. Finally though, I found it. The reason I had come here.
All right, so we are across the street from the site of the Las Vegas A's future stadium. You can't see much right now, so we're gonna cross to see if we can get closer up. Try and come up here. We can see.
There wasn't much there at the time. A few dirt piles, a couple of cranes, some excavators in the back there. So, keeping in mind that I filmed this in October of 2025, let's try and break down what we're seeing here.
It's a lot of dirt. Mostly dirt, some not dirt, but like I said before, the number on it, it's about 75 to 80% dirt at the moment, so not much to go on, but in terms of the dirt, it's pretty good dirt.
At the end of the day, this is just a snapshot of the construction. It's been a few months since I visited Las Vegas, and things are moving fast. Luckily, we have another option. If you visit MLB.com right now, specifically this URL, you can follow a live stream of the Vegas construction site. You can also view a time-lapse of the entire project, going back to June of 2025. This is how it looked when I visited, and this is what it looks like today. Clearly, they've made some progress since I was there. The outline of the stadium is taking shape. You can see the area that'll be home plate over here, with the center field concourse around here. Feelings among locals, meanwhile, are mixed.
Hey, we're gonna have the A's in town. I was like, what? So that's so cool.
Miguel Vargas says he can't wait to add another major team to the Valley.
With my friends that they are here in town for vacation, so it was like, we should go and take pictures like we did for the Allegiant Stadium. Let's do it because this is gonna be awesome.
Sad to see Tropicana go. It's one of my favorite hotels on the Strip. So it is kind of sad, but it's cool to see new changes being made to the Strip, so I'm excited for it.
It's gonna bring more opportunities to the city, more jobs, more things to do, so it's a win for the city. I'm not an A's fan, but I'm excited.
Well, I have to tell you, not only have we heard from our locals, but we hear from around the country. Our responsive people, we get this.
A sticking point for the stadium deal was helping to finance a ballpark for the team, which locals say may not be the best fit for Vegas.
I'm seeing money that is being just blown on another billionaire who would like a new toy here in town.
They've had one of the worst years, plus every year they keep trading the good players they've developed.
In order to ease these concerns, the team has launched a, quote, ballpark experience center, featuring such elements as the immersive cube, TM, interactive displays, a scale model of the ballpark, and Elephant.
I'm really
You
excited.
did say you're not an Oakland A's fan.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I could be, things can change,
That's true.
I just listen also that they're not doing great, so probably this change from Oakland to Vegas, it's gonna be a positive change.
But this is the easy part. See, I have no doubt that the city of Las Vegas will pull its weight here. They've already given the A's nearly $400 million to get this stadium built. What comes next, however, is up to the team. And that's the problem. For one thing, the firm in charge of designing this ballpark, BIG, has never actually built a sports stadium. Their website features just 2 professional sports venues, neither of which ever saw the light of day. One I've already mentioned, the doomed Howard Terminal ballpark in Oakland. The other was this concept for a Washington Commanders stadium, which, okay, yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Construction costs, meanwhile, have risen to around $2 billion. Given the public money, this means the A's somehow need to find $1.6 billion to get this ballpark built. John Fisher has reportedly spent $300 million of his own money so far. Add in a $300 million loan from Goldman Sachs, and that gets the funding gap down to a mere $1 billion. So far, Fisher has attempted to close the shortfall with a variety of deals. He's licensed concession rights to Aramark for $175 million. He's sold minority shares in the team, including a $70 million deal with an investment group led by former MLB star Chan-Ho Park. The A's have also announced a seat licensing program. For the price of $19.01, fans will get the right to purchase season tickets for one of 6,000 seats. In other words, paying for the ability to pay for season tickets, which in turn will range from the low thousands up to around $500,000 per year. Staying on this list could cost between $6,000 and $106,000 annually. The Raiders did this when they moved to Vegas, netting them around $550 million in the process. Obviously, the A's want to pull off something similar here. If he wants, the owner could continue to spend out of pocket. The Fisher family fortune is valued at $3 billion, give or take. Most of it is tied up in stock he inherited from his parents, who founded The Gap in 1969. Honestly, it's not my problem how Fisher gets the stadium funded. If he wants to go broke paying for a baseball field in Las Vegas, that's on him. What I do care about is the fact that we have a Major League Baseball team, one of the most historic franchises in American sports, playing their home games in a minor league park. As of today, the A's are playing in Sacramento, using Sutter Health Park as their temporary home.
We're loving it. I'm from Sacramento. I've wanted this my whole life.
It's better than going to Vegas, I'll tell you that.
But even here, they just can't commit, refusing to adopt Sacramento as their official identity. Clearly, the team is hoping for a fresh start in Vegas. Like the Raiders before them, the A's are looking to tap into one of the fastest growing markets in the United States. The difference is that the Raiders only play 9 home games per year. they need to fill Allegiant Stadium just a handful of times to break even. They do this by relying on tourism. In 2025, 63% of the fans at Raiders home games did not live in Southern Nevada. The A's, however, will play 81 home games each season. And unlike the Raiders, they can't rely on tourism alone to fill seats. If they want this move to be a success, they'll need to put in the work at home, building a loyal fan base from the ground up. The Las Vegas Valley is home to 2.5 million people, more than enough to do just that. And if this were almost any other team, I'd say go right ahead. I mean, I wouldn't have been against an expansion team opening up here. It worked for the Golden Knights in hockey, who were immediately successful upon debuting in 2017. If you ask me though, the problem isn't Las Vegas. It isn't the money either. It's Fisher himself. You can say the fans in Oakland didn't show up for this team.
Manfred and Fisher have done the impossible. They've lessened my interest in Major League Baseball.
But that would be backwards. It was the team that gave up on the fans. And I'm not talking about the players. Let's look at 2019. This was their last full winning season, and a year in which the A's won 97 games for the second time in a row. They had an exciting, young lineup, featuring all-star caliber starters like Marcus Semien, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, and Mark Canha. That season, home attendance was 1.6 million, the highest in years. With just a little more investment, they were set to be perennial contenders.
Left field, and that baby is gone!
Just as importantly, this was further proof that if the A's put together a good team, Oakland fans would show up, regardless of the ballpark. So, of course, Fisher let Semien and Canha walk, traded away Chapman and Olson, continued to have one of the worst pitching staffs in the game. Not to mention poor Mark Kotsay being thrown to the wolves, losing 100 games in each of his first 2 seasons as manager. All the while, the Coliseum crumbled. Fisher refused to pay for upgrades, choosing to focus his attention on multiple failed moves. The rot at the center of this team was becoming visible. On the same day in 2023 that Nevada approved $380 million for a new stadium, the city of Oakland held a reverse boycott. Some 27,000 fans showed up, some young, some who had supported the team since they came west in 1969, but all of them with one message.
The crowd goes silent and now getting very loud at the Coliseum.
The frustration and sadness and rage of an entire fan base, of a city, was on full display. Here's the bottom line. John Fisher doesn't want what's best for the A's. He doesn't want what's best for Las Vegas either. And he definitely didn't want what was best for Oakland.
We want to make a point that, hey, if you are committed to Oakland and keeping a team here and committed to investing in your roster, we'll be here.
No. John Fisher wants what's best for John Fisher, which apparently was to strip the A's for parts, rip them out of their home, and send them to play in a casino in the desert. If Fisher continues to run this organization in this way, the Las Vegas A's won't be any better than they were in Oakland. Once the novelty of this new stadium wears off, their success will be decided by the owner's willingness to invest in players, not just the field they play on. Thanks for watching, and a big thank you to my channel members for supporting me. Shout out to Lucas Hummel 296, Big John 08865, Fran Guidry 2017, A.M. Schaefer 257, and Tyler Critchlow 8881. And if you want to help make more videos like this possible, consider becoming a member by clicking the join button on my channel.